tusimame pamoja kulinda uhuru na umoja wetu. Enyi bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima. Tuungane sote tuimbe pamoja, kuenzi shikamano hatima yetu. Tujitoe wenyewe kupambana pamoja, uhuru na umoja vitawale. Enyi bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima. Tuungane sote na tujibidishe kutoa kilicho bora kwa Afrika, chimbuko la wanadamu, chemchemi ya utamaduni, tumaini letu wakati wa mafarakano. Enyi bwana na binti wa Afrika, mwili wa jua, mwili wa anga, tuifanye Afrika mti wa uzima.
Let's talk about Guinea today. You know, we have 4 Guineas. All countries named Guinea are 4 in the world. Today, we talk about the Republic of Guinea, whose capital city is Conakry, a country right now under a military junta that has declared themselves president. Under a military junta, a country that has got coups since independence. They've been having coups. A country that was once occupied and colonized by the French until when they gave them independence, that actually they never gave them, because they have continued to be part of Guinea's self-determination, and the quest for self-rule in Guinea has continued. Today we talk about a country with the largest deposits of bauxite, one of that mineral called bauxite. The world's largest reserves of bauxite is found in the Republic of Guinea. It has aluminium, it has iron ore and others, but this country has some of the poorest people in the world. Today we talk about Guinea, very interesting country, a country with a people known for their acrobats. They are very artistic in Guinea. They are very happy people. Of course, it's a country among the UN ladder for UNESCO, a country known for some of those beautiful sites in the world. It's a beautiful country. So let us look at the statistics, the maps, and what is inside this country we call Guinea, currently under a military junta come president, interim president, as we shall be seeing. Guinea, and we can see the map of Guinea is very beautiful. Green for the vegetation of Africa, yellow for the sunshine, and red for the blood that joins us all together as the human race. Now, Guinea is a beautiful country. I love their flag and of course their map. Very simple map. Guinea is completely surrounded by these other countries. As you can see, Guinea is surrounded by Senegal. Guinea is surrounded by Sierra Leone, Liberia, Cote d'Ivoire, and Mali. And of course, Guinea-Bissau, Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, Mali, Sierra Leone, and that is a landlocked country right there. But of course, it has a coast. Yeah, when you look at the Atlantic Ocean, then you know that actually it's not completely landlocked, because at least Conakry is at the Atlantic Ocean right there. So Yes, it's not completely landlocked, but we can say that majority of the part of the Guinea is surrounded by land, but it's this other part which is exposed to the Atlantic Ocean. And we see Conakry right there, right there at the entrance between Atlantic Ocean and the land. That is Guinea. Guinea, very beautiful country. Look at what is inside Guinea. National parks such as um, Niger National Park, Siguli, River Nile, Niger River, Bafinga River, Labe, and of course Kakunkre River and others. It has some bit of a beautiful river right there inside. There's of course the Niger River, and of course there is Milo River. You can see so many beautiful water bodies within Guinea. It's a very beautiful country. Guinea, of course, the capital city is Conakry, and of course it's near the shores of the Atlantic Ocean, and the rest of the country is surrounded by other countries. But of course, Guinea has that water body, is having that coastline, as we have seen. Now, Gambia, Guinea-Bissau, and of course Cote d'Ivoire, Sierra Leone surround the Republic of Guinea. It's a beautiful country. I will give you a few things about it. Guinea, Guinea is a beautiful country. Of course, I've talked about the areas within Guinea: Boke, Fra, Kindra, Robe, Siguri, Kankani, Kisondogu, Macenta, and Nzerekor, among others. Those are the areas within Guinea. Now, Guinea is a beautiful country. I told you Guinea has all those minerals, aluminium, iron ore, and of course bauxite. It has the largest deposits of bauxite in the world, the largest deposit of the bauxite in the world. It's a rich country. The name Guinea, I'll talk about the name Guinea. Where do we get the origin of the name Guinea? It was given to the area when Europeans were going to Guinea in the 15th century. They named that place, specifically the Portuguese, named that place Guinea to describe an area that is today Senegal and near River Senegal. Now they use that name to describe that area around West Africa, that area that is near River Senegal. They call it Guinea. So that's how they call it. Now that was about the 18th century when the Portuguese named this area Guinea, and the other Europeans simply used it to refer to Western Africa. Those days they could mention Guinea to simply mean Western Africa. That's why you see the other three countries that have the name Guinea in Africa. Other three countries that have the name Guinea in East Africa, in West Africa. It was used to describe the coastline, much of the West African coastline, as Guinea. They used to call it as Guinea to refer to much of that West African coastline. They used to refer it as Guinea. So that's why they get the name Guinea right there. And it began in 18th century. And of course, when the English came also copied the Portuguese, and they also called it Guinea to mean a land of black African people south of Senegal River, a land of black African people south of Senegal River. So that's the meaning of the word Guinea. That's why you get the word Guinea right there. That's why you have 4 countries called Guinea. And in Africa, we have these 3 countries called Guinea. So that's why they get the name. That's why they get the name. And then when the French took over this country, they ruled them until 1958, when that country got independence. In 1958, when they got independence, having rejected the leadership of Charles de Gaulle and Constitution of 1958. That's when they got their independence. Guinea has had a very troubled history, very troubled politics. Guinea has had a very troubled politics. It has beautiful people, good culture. They are artistic. Some of the best acrobatics you can think about in the world is seen in Guinea. They have minerals. They have the largest deposits of bauxite, I told you, in the world. They have the largest deposits of bauxite. You can see that map to show you where these riches are, where these mineral riches are. Guinea has the largest deposit of bauxite in the world. And they have iron ore and they have aluminium in the world. It's a rich country. But this country has been mismanaged, and they have only 13 million people, And of course, almost 14 now, almost 14 million people today, as we say. And of course, the population growth rate is 2.3% annually, and age dependence is too high at 81%. Age dependence is too high at 81%. Urban population is right there at 37%, which means that many people actually live in the rural part of Guinea. And infant mortality rate is high at 63 children per 1,000 live births. Infant mortality rate in Guinea is too high. 63 children die per 1,000 live births. This is too bad. And life expectancy is too low at 58 years. 58 years. Now, in terms of age distribution, like the rest of Africa, many people in Africa are below the age of 60. And when you look at these statistics right here, you are going to see that majority in Guinea are between 15 years and 64. Between 15 years to 64 years, they form 55%. And those between 0 months to 14 years form 41%. And those above 65 years are only 3%. You can imagine, Africa has a young population. Throughout Africa, I've been documenting the entire Africa, and the message is clear. Africa has a young population. Now, look at production. This country has electricity. Yes, Guinea has electricity. They produce their own electricity. They don't import electricity, but they don't also export electricity. They have electricity, 2.78 billion kilowatts right there in terms of electricity. And they have renewable energy still at 2 billion in terms of renewable energy. They have reserves. And of course, airports, they have 16 airports, but that was 2013. And of course, today they may have more airports than that. Of course, cellular telephones, there are about 12 million people with cellular telephones, which means that at least 80% of people in Guinea has cellular phones. And of course, highways, about 44,000 kilometers coverage. Internet users are only 1 million people, which is a bit absurd. So it gives us a question about cellular phones. Maybe one person has about 3, because if internet users are just 1 million, then there's a question about cellular phones. So railways cover about 1,086 kilometers of railway coverage, and telephones, office telephones, there was no figure from World Bank by the time of doing this research. Now, Guinea, as I told you, Guinea is located in Western Africa, bordering the Northern Atlantic Ocean between Guinea-Bissau and Sierra Leone. And of course, I told you other countries that it borders, not only those two. Total area is 246,000 square kilometers. Land area is 245 717 square kilometers. Water area is 140 square kilometers. Coastline is a big one because of the Atlantic Ocean. They have a coastline of 320 kilometers. 320 kilometers. The climate generally is hot and humid, and of course, the monsoon type rainy season between June and November, and of course with lots of dry winds and a dry season between December and May. They are also having Harmattan winds. So if you're going to Guinea, I'm warning you of the Harmattan winds between December and May. Now, the terrain in Guinea is generally flat. It's a flat country, coast plain, hilly to mountainous interior. The lowest point in Guinea is the Atlantic Ocean, and the highest point is Mount Nimba. Mount Nimba is the highest point at 1,752 meters, of course, high. That is the highest point. Now, Guinea has beautiful people, of course. The women there love decoration. They have a lot of culture. They are known for their acrobatics and culture and paintings. They are very beautiful people right in Guinea. They are very beautiful women right in Guinea. There has been a country that was occupied and ruled by the French. They got their independence in 1953. You can see how happy these people are. They have had troubled leadership. They have had coups after coups in Guinea. Just like many other French ruled countries, Guinea hasn't been an exception. There are so many coups in Guinea, but Guinea has a lovely people, has a lovely culture. As you can see, there are people who express themselves. Sub-Saharan Africans, people are full of expressions. They love art, they love music, they love dance, and that is Guinea. And they love art. I told you they are artistic, like the people in Gambia. Guinea people are so artistic. They love art. Like the people in Senegal, Guinea people are too artistic. They love paintings. They love art. They love beautiful pottery. Those are the people of Guinea, people of Senegal and Gambia. They love that. And they have animals. They have animals. They have, of course, you'll be surprised that Guinea has, of course, elephants, these rhinos, of course, chimpanzees. They have all these animals, the lions and others, because this is, of course, sub-Saharan Africa. They have all these animals. These animals are unique, the giraffes and others. Beautiful, beautiful country called Guinea. Beautiful country. This is Conakry, the capital city of Guinea. Very, very beautiful city right there, Conakry, the capital state of Guinea. Now, I'll tell you a bit of Conakry. How did they get that name? Conakry was founded on the land belonging to the Sasu people. There's a tribe called the Susu people. Soso people. The name Conakry originally referred to a neighboring Susu fishing village. Yes, there was a neighboring fishing village called Conakry. This is where they got the name Conakry. It became the capital of the French Guinea in 1904. Remember, Guinea was once called the French Guinea in 1904. It was once called the French Guinea in 1904. And of course, it became a colony later on, and that one became the capital city of Guinea. Now, we see that this country, as I told you, is rich, mineral rich. It has the biggest, the world's largest known reserve for bauxite. The largest gold reserve. Reserve for bauxite, not the gold, but bauxite. Bauxita, bauxite. And of course, they have iron ore and they have all those other activities right there. But the people in Guinea are poor. And the question is why? Let us talk about the politics in Guinea now. I'll talk about the politics and give me time right there as I talk about the politics in Guinea. Let me give you a history of the politics in Guinea. How did the things go wrong? Now, Guinea got their independence in 1958. The man you see there today is the interim president of Guinea. I'll talk about him in a minute. Let me give the history, how this man comes to power, how the confusion in Guinea gives us this man today. After independence, Guinea was ruled by a man called Sekou Toure. Sekou Toure is the man who got Guinea to independence. He was called Sekou Toure, 1958. Sekou Toure ruled then from 1958 to 84 to 1984. And Sekou Toure died in office, died peacefully in office. He ruled from 1958 to 84. When Sekou Toure died, a group of military officers staged a coup, and there was a coup led by Colonel Lansana Conte. Colonel Lansana Conte. Now, Lansana Conte took over without being elected. That's where the problems came. Lansana Conte, a military leader, took over Guinea without being elected, and there was 1984. Now, Lansana Conte, a military leader and a junta, ruled Guinea from 1984 to 2008. You can imagine, from 1984 to 2008, one man, Lansana Conte, who came through a military coup after the death of the first leader, Sekou Toure, became the leader until 2008. So Lansana Conte took over. What did Lansana Conte do? The military man promised so much, but did almost nothing. He was siphoning the riches of Guinea, connecting with companies from France and companies from the rest of Europe to steal from Guinea. So Lansana Conte basically did nothing to develop Guinea, apart from allowing foreign countries to come and take the wealth of Guinea. Now, what happened after Lansana Conte? Lansana Conte died in office. The year was 2008. Lansana Conte died in office. Now, having died in office, again, another junta took over. You can see one junta after another. Lansana Conte came to power through a coup, dies in office in 2008, and then another junta takes over through a man called Captain Musa Dadis Kamara. Captain Musa Dadis Kamara took over from Lansana Conte through again a coup, no elections, through a coup. Now, Dadis came to power and killed over 150 people on the streets of Conakry because they are protesting against his rule. He killed over 150 people in Guinea just on the streets of Conakry because they were protesting his power and occupation. And in 2010, there was a transition. What happened is that Dadis Kamara, Musa Dadis Kamara, was removed after that incident of killing people, was removed in 2010, was removed. And then they were organized general elections in 2010, and one man was elected. That was Alpha Conde. Let us have a look at the photo of Alpha Conde first. That is Alpha Conde. Now, Alpha Conde comes in as the officially elected leader of Guinea. The year is 2010. Alpha Conde comes in, and Alpha Conde comes in with so much promise. He tells people of Guinea, I'm going to be the best leader, I'm going to give you jobs, I'm going to work on infrastructure, I'm going to stabilize the economy, I'm going to handle the French government, because French government has been destabilizing Guinea for a long time. Conde promised so much, and people voted him thinking Conde is going to change the trajectory of Guinea. Conde did nothing. The French government remained in control of Guinea. Conde did nothing to improve the affairs of Guinea. Conde did nothing. He pledged so much to bring improvements in infrastructure, to create employment. Conde did nothing. But still, Conde was elected again in 2015. It comes in 2010. After 5 years, Conde was re-elected in 2015. People thinking Conde is going to change. Conde didn't change a thing. People remained poor as their minerals were being siphoned by companies from Europe and the US. They are still taking minerals, but the people are poor and the roads are bad. The schools are bad. The hospitals are bad. But Conde is leading. Conde led them until another 5 years elapsed. 2020, Conde was seeking another third term. Remember, he came to power in 2010, ruled them. Then 2020, he wants another term. Then apart from that, Conde had a referendum in 2019, and he was saying he must go for a third term in 2020. This is where the problems came in now, because Conde has a referendum, wants to change the constitution to go for a third term. He promised different things, he's preaching different things. He promised to give them constitutionalism. After power, 10 years in power, he wants a third term. This is where the problems came in. Now, there was a revolution, call it a protest, on the streets of Conakry. People in Guinea said, enough is enough. We want Conde out. We want Alpha Conde out. What happened is now we see the new president. On 5th September 2021, now we see the soldier right there. Let us have a look at the soldier right there. Now we see this is when Mamade comes to power. This is when Mamade comes to power, because Conde has defied the constitution. He has changed the constitution. He has got a bogus referendum, and Conde wanted a third term. This is when Mamadou Doumbouya removed him from power. This is when this military guy came to power, because Conde wants a third term and people are tired of him. Now the military takes over from Conde. This is how this man comes to power. The date was 5th September 2021. Incumbent Mamade Doumbouya, the interim leader of Guinea, came to power on 5th September 2021. Why? Through a coup. Why? Because Conte, Alpha Conte, wanted to have a third term, and Alpha Conte had changed the constitution through a referendum that was bogus, that was challenged by the opposition. Now, the man in office today, Mamade Domboya, born on 4th March 1980, is a military soldier of Guinea, a Guinea soldier and a politician. This man was trained in France. In fact, he served as a soldier, partly serving the interest of the French government. His wife is a French woman. But let's talk about him first. After being in power, this man served as a French soldier in a way because he's trained there. His right is in France. His wife is a French woman, and his wife is called Lauren Domboya Dabsi. They have 4 children. The wife of this gentleman is a French lady. But apart from being a French lady, the wife is a soldier. The wife is a soldier, is a military, is a soldier serving in the army, call it military police, in Guinea. Now, the wife of this president is a French woman. Not only being a French woman, is a woman who serves in the military police in France. Now, the question I've been asking always is, if people in Guinea think they are independent, how much is this independence independent? If they think they are going to get away from the French, how true can that statement be? Remember, let me go back to the lady there. The lady, the first lady of Guinea today, is a French woman called Lorraine Dubse. Lorraine Dubse. Dubse. Now, this lady is an active duty member of the French National Gendarmerie. The French National Gendarmerie. What is a gendarmerie? A gendarmerie is a military police unit in France. A gendarmerie is a branch of the French armed forces placed under the jurisdiction of the Ministry of the Interior, with additional duties from the Ministry of Armed Forces. Its responsibilities include policing small towns, suburbs, and rural areas, crowds and riot control, criminal investigations, including cybercrime in France. Here is my point as I conclude Guinea today. Here is the president who has promised people of Guinea to change the way things are, to change the trajectory of Guinea. He tells them, look, we are going to be independent. Look, we are going to get our minerals back. We are going to get our control back. We're going to get our economy back. But this man is seen always in company of French government officials. The president of Guinea today, Mamadou, is seen in company of the French government officials. He was trained in France. He has been serving the interest of French government. His wife is not only French lady, but serves in the military police of France. Now, the question is, how can Africa get rid of French occupation when leaders today that control these former colonies of France continue to rely so much heavily on France? If the president of Guinea today, as you can see right there in that photo, has allegiance to the French government, yet ironically he pretends to be serving the interest of the people of Guinea, the question I've been asking is, how sure are the people of Guinea that actually they are going to get their interests served, not the interest of the French government? It's the question I ask. How free are the former colonies of Guinea, of France, from France, Guinea, Senegal, Niger, and others? How free Mali and others? How free are these countries from France when you see that president there? The wife is not only French, which is not a bad thing, but the wife serves in the army, in the military police of France, and they live in France. Now, how do you say you are going to divorce your country from colonialism and neo-colonialism when you are still under the wings of your colonizers? Is the question I leave to you. Share your views with me. Is Guinea going to be free from French occupation? Is Guinea going to get their economy back with this man in leadership? I highly doubt. I predict another coup yet again in Guinea. You are free to share your views. Our intention is to show you what's happening in Africa, to give you the good side of Africa, but also the challenging part of Africa. If Africa is going to go forward, we need to look at the challenges that Africa is facing. We need to find out the challenges that our countries are facing, and we look for corrective solutions. Thank you for watching. Please share, like, and comment. See you in the next show.